What Charles Leclerc recently revealed behind closed doors at Ferrari left the entire team completely stunned, and Lewis Hamilton, apparently, was left speechless in the already tense atmosphere of Maranello. This surprising statement from Leclerc could completely transform the direction of the team, from the development of the SF25 to the internal hierarchy and the dynamics of the 2025 Formula One season. This is not just a difference of opinion, but a true act of independence. So, what exactly did Leclerc say? Why did he make this decision? And what will be the impacts for Hamilton, Ferrari, and the championship as a whole? You are about to find out everything. And I assure you the situation is even more intense than it seems. Before we dive in, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and activate the notification bell so you never miss an update. According to Corriere dello Sport, one of the most reliable sources in the Italian press, Charles Leclerc officially informed Ferrari that he will chart his own path in the development of the SF25. He made it clear that he will no longer accept guidance coming from Hamilton's side of the team, and that he would not adjust his driving style to fit a philosophy that, in his view, does not suit his characteristics. From now on, he will follow a completely distinct and personalized approach. This information was disclosed based on internal conversations between Fred Vasseur and Ferrari's senior technical leadership, shortly after the Japanese Grand Prix, a race marked by a mix of hope and frustration for the Italian team. Once again, Ferrari showed flashes of competitiveness, but failed to turn potential into concrete results. Leclerc is not just seeking an alternative setup, he is deliberately breaking the internal alignment, and this brings enormous consequences for the entire organization. Ferrari had been prioritizing Lewis Hamilton's opinions since his transfer from Mercedes, treating his feedback almost as absolute guidelines in the hope of building a winning car and restoring the team's former glory. However, the practical results of this strategy are far from ideal. The team currently holds fourth place in the Constructors' Championship, a disappointing result for a team with such a rich history and high expectations. Hamilton, in turn, has achieved only a ninth-place finish in main races as his best result, and his sole victory came in a sprint race in China, which carries less weight in the championship. Meanwhile, Leclerc, with his consistent and aggressive approach, has outperformed Hamilton on several occasions, including a solid fourth place in Suzuka, which remains Ferrari's best finish in main races this season. These results have increased internal confidence in Leclerc and raised doubts about the current strategy centered around Hamilton. Behind the scenes, after the Japanese qualifying session, Leclerc reportedly met with Fred Vasseur and the team's top engineers to communicate his decision. "I will follow my own path." He was straightforward in stating that he no longer wishes to align the evolution of his car with Hamilton's. For Leclerc, adapting to a driving style that is not his own only compromises his potential. Already at the Bahrain Grand Prix, Leclerc intends to follow a distinct development path that prioritizes his personal preferences and his feel for how the SF25 should be improved. This includes adjustments in the car's behavior in high-speed corners, stability under braking, and better traction out of turns, areas he believes are fundamental to maximizing his performance. This decision comes at a time of intense activity within Ferrari, with the team preparing to introduce a new update package. A new floor, designed to improve the balance and drivability of the SF25, is ready for testing. However, there is internal disagreement about when and how these updates should be implemented. With Leclerc now following an independent approach, Ferrari faces the real prospect of operating with two distinct development philosophies. In other words, there will be two different technical directions, two distinct driving styles, and two cars tailored separately for each race weekend. In a sport where unity is fundamental to success, this internal division could be disastrous. Analyzing Leclerc's side after the race in Japan, he clearly expressed his frustration. "It was a bit of an annoying race. I was alone practically the whole time. The cars ahead were simply too fast in the first stint. I thought we could try something different, but they just pulled away. It is frustrating because we nailed the car's balance, but the performance did not come." This statement is revealing. Leclerc is saying, in clear terms, that the car's setup was good, but the design philosophy is not competitive enough. He believes that continuing to adjust his style to the current proposal would be futile. The problem lies in the car's concept. Following Hamilton's direction to him would mean accepting limitations and giving up his potential. Thus, Leclerc chose to chart his own route. A bold choice, but one that also demonstrates maturity and a genuine desire to become world champion. He believes that with development focused on his strengths, he can not only challenge Hamilton but also fight on equal terms against Red Bull and McLaren. And where does this leave Hamilton? Frankly, this situation is a heavy blow to his authority within Ferrari. Hamilton was hired not just as a top driver, but also as a technical leader, someone expected to guide the team back to the top, inspiring engineers and designers to create an unbeatable machine. However, after just 3 races, this leadership is already being contested. The support Hamilton was expected to naturally receive from the team is now being divided. Leclerc, a homegrown figure, is positioning himself clearly and defiantly. This could trigger a true backstage war within the team, and it is not just a matter of pride. Hamilton himself, after the Japanese Grand Prix, made public comments about the performance gap between the two sides of the garage, something extremely unusual for him, who normally avoids exposing internal problems. By doing so, Hamilton made it clear that the situation is far from ideal. Now, Ferrari faces a crucial strategic decision. Should they support Leclerc's initiative, granting him greater freedom and development focus, or try to force a compromise between the two drivers, risking creating a tense and unproductive environment? If they choose to support Leclerc, the team may finally unlock the untapped potential of the SF25, adapting a significant part of the car to the Monegasque style. This could result in faster and more consistent performance gains. After all, Leclerc has been more effective at extracting the maximum from the car under real race conditions. On the other hand, adopting 2 parallel philosophies carries great risk. In the hyper-competitive world of Formula One, dividing resources, time, and effort between 2 approaches can easily lead to confusion, wasted potential, and worse still, the creation of internal resentment. Hamilton certainly will not accept being sidelined without a fight. He came to Ferrari to win championships, to rebuild a dynasty, and to further cement his legacy. If he feels his influence is being diminished, he will not hesitate to react, which could create an unsustainable environment. Ferrari's leadership, especially Fred Vasseur, is under enormous pressure to manage the crisis. Keeping both drivers motivated and the team united will be a Herculean task. Every wrong choice now could cost precious points in the championship and affect team morale in the long term. Meanwhile, Red Bull and McLaren are watching closely. They know that a divided Ferrari is a vulnerable Ferrari. In a season where Max Verstappen and Red Bull already show strength, any distraction or drop in Ferrari's performance will be immediately exploited. All the warning signs are there. Ferrari's 2025 campaign is not lost yet, but the road ahead will be incredibly challenging. If the situation is not quickly contained, the team will not only lose the title race, but may also suffer irreparable damage to its internal structure. Now I want to know your opinion. Do you think Leclerc was right to follow his own path? Has Hamilton lost the leadership that was promised to him upon joining Ferrari? And will the Scuderia be able to overcome this division before it destroys their chances this season? Leave your opinions in the comments. I am eager to read them.